What's going on, guys? Thank you so much for tuning in to Late's Hoops. Today's video, we're going to be talking about Zion Williamson and the New Orleans Pelicans. I know I said I was going to post a video on the Miami Heat today, but I just have to get this video out there and just talk about Zion and how no one's giving him an MVP nod. If you guys enjoyed this video, please be sure to let me know in the comments below, and let me know if you guys think Zion Williamson should be getting the attention as an MVP. So right now, as I'm recording this video, the Pelicans are about to put the bow on the end of this game, and they're going to end up being 18-8, which is the #1 seed in the Western Conference. The Phoenix Suns, they were shorthanded today. They didn't have Devin Booker, and not to mention DeAndre Ayton and Chris Paul both fouled out, but that does not take away from the monster performance Zion Williamson had. He had 35 points, 9 rebounds, and 4 assists, and him as well as the rest, other than the first quarter, but him and the rest of this Pelicans team were just so efficient tonight. On the season, Zion's averaging 24.5 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, and he's shooting a remarkable 64, almost 65% true shooting. And in his last 5 games without Brandon Ingram and Herb Jones being on the court, he's averaging 30 points, nearly 10 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, and a block on a game. And you guessed it, almost 70% from the field. He's shooting a 68%, and he's honestly upped that free throw percentage to 74%, almost 75%. And with the Pelicans kind of just taking over and triumphing their way to the 1 seed, I have to ask, is Zion Williamson an MVP candidate? I feel like the obvious answer is yes, but the thing is with Zion, a lot of us were all the time just kind of banking and waiting on this potential, like, oh, if Zion gets healthy, he can be a top 3, a top 5, a top 10 player in the NBA. And I'm not trying to jinx it, but this kind of looks like that time, you know, like I mentioned earlier. Brandon Ingram, he hasn't been playing in the last 5 to 10 games, same with Herb Jones, and you just see a lot of this offense run through #1. Coach Willie Green has done an amazing job kind of letting him play that point forward role and just distribute the ball to his teammate, but also always take care of those mismatches. Every single person on this Pelican roster has been playing with such tenacious ability, and it's been super fun to see when they're at home and on the road. They're actually only one of 4 teams with a winning record on the road and at home. Those other 3 teams are the Milwaukee Bucks, the Denver Nuggets, and the Boston Celtics, and that is elite company for a young team like the New Orleans Pelicans. Tonight's game against the Suns, we just saw a lot of great ball movement and a lot of just dominance overall from Zion. They were stretching this lead up to, I think, 13 or 15 points in the third quarter. Obviously, this was a close game and it went into overtime, but you can just see how much Zion's dominance really just changes the pace of this game. As soon as Zion, I've seen this the past couple nights actually, as soon as Zion gets in his groove and gets running, we see the other team's coaches instantly take the man assignment away, and they'll put them in a 2-1-2 or a 1-3-1, just any form of zone so that they can kind of collapse and try to stop the sheer dominance that he just provides on any given night. Something I'm really liking to see with Zion is that he's just feeling a little bit more comfortable expanding his range. We saw a couple mid-range attempts this game that went in. Actually, the last attempt of the game, of regulation at least, was a go-ahead chance at the win. He did miss that shot, but like I said, expanding that range, I like that he's shooting 3-pointers if the other teams are leaving him open. Against Phoenix tonight, he had 2 3-pointers, and that doesn't sound like a lot, but when you weigh 285 pounds and you're known for your bully ball-esque style of play, you couldn't really ask for more. 2 threes is wonderful. It's only a matter of time before the rest of the league and the rest of the NBA media starts catching on and saying that Zion Williamson can be an MVP candidate. And honestly, I just wanted to make my claim in that stake. The rest of this video is just going to be kind of a recap talking about the Suns, what I liked about them this game, and the Pelicans, what I liked and what I didn't like. For starters, with the Pelicans, just while we're on the topic of Zion, earlier you guys heard me, I said that I liked how efficient they were playing. I also like the kind of defensive schemes that Willie Green has them in. They do foul a decent bit, but I love tonight seeing Larry Nance Jr. step up, with Jonas picking up an early 4 fouls. He fouled out of this game as well, so Larry Nance had to come in and put 34 minutes up tonight, and he was playing amazing defense down the stretch. He's always going straight up. He's never fouling overboard, and if he is, it's good take fouls. And on a night tonight where someone who you depend on, like Jose Alvarado, comes in and Chris Paul got him 3 early fouls, literally all within 2 minutes, and he goes on the bench, you still have other guys like Najee Marshall just coming in and making a big impact off the bench. You have guys like Trey Murphy, who's one of the most efficient players in the NBA. He's actually leading the league in free throw percentage at 95.5%. We see him come in and get an efficient 9 points. Dyson Daniels, even though he's a little undersized in a game like today, he comes out and gives you 11 points and 7 assists. It's just really been nice to see the depth show for this Pelicans team when, like I said, you have Brandon Ingram, who's obviously a 20 to 25 point per game scorer, and then you have Herb Jones not playing, who's one of the most tenacious long-armed defenders in the NBA. Even when CJ's shot wasn't falling, they just kept their head up and ended up pulling out with this win. It was awesome to see. I'm really excited for BI and Jackson Hayes and Herb Jones and even some other guys like Devontae Graham to get more minutes. He played a few minutes tonight, and something I really liked is that he's buying into this defensive system. Beforehand, when we would see Devontae Graham on the Charlotte Hornets or any of the other rosters that he's played on, it kind of was, okay, if he's hitting his shots, we're good, and if he's not, he's just kind of not a good asset. But this game, we see him with active hands, and even though he only played 9 minutes tonight, he was responsible for 2+ turnovers. And the same thing, like I said, for Jose Alvarado. Even though he only played 10 minutes because he got in that early foul trouble, it's just really nice to see them be productive off the bench. And as for the Phoenix Suns, I feel like they left a lot on the table this game. This could be a big staple win for them, especially without their leading scorer. Devin Booker was not playing tonight. They had this game in the palm of their hands a couple times. In the third quarter, it was getting, really ugly. I'm pretty sure the Pelicans, they had a 13 or 15 point lead. And then you have Cam Payne come and save the day. In 24 minutes, Cam Payne had 17 points. And I'm pretty sure that 11 of those 17 points were in the third quarter. You can fact check me on that, but Cam Payne, he has been great for this team on the nights where he's shooting efficiently. And speaking of efficiency, the league leader in 3-point percentage, Damian Lee, he was going great tonight. Honestly, he had some shots as well as Landry Shamet that I was questioning a little bit. It's just really interesting to see the difference in urgency when you have a guy like Cam Payne who's running it, and then you have a guy like Chris Paul. Obviously, these are two completely different skilled. I mean, one of them's called the point guard and the other one was known as a tanking legend. But now in 2022 or 2023, it's just very, very interesting to see that the Suns, they seem so rushed if Landry's bringing it up or if Cameron Payne's bringing it up, or like I said, if Damian Lee's bringing it up. But then you put the ball in Chris Paul's hands and the game slows down immensely. And I think that was their bread and butter this game. I think that's what was messing with this young Pelicans team. They were rambunctious and just moving fast and had all these moving parts. But then the Suns, they slow it down. They go on a little 7-0 run. They get another stop. Now that turns into a 9-0 run. And honestly, I feel like if you're the Suns, yes, this is kind of a bad loss, but you got to look at it from the upside. DeAndre Ayton fouled out. Chris Paul fouled out. Booker didn't play. But some of your other guys, like Mikal Bridges, had a great night. 27 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. DeAndre Ayton, in only 33 minutes, he had 28 points, 5 assists, and 12 rebounds. Like I said, you saw a lot of production off the bench this game from the Phoenix Suns, but unfortunately they came up shorthanded in this one. They gotta make a couple more of those threes down the stretch. You see a guy like Landry Shamet, he had an and one, or it wasn't an and one because he missed the free throw, but he had a chance at a 4-point play, and then the next time he comes down the court with just 4 seconds into the shot clock, he's shooting up, chucking up random threes. And these are things that are just scars on a championship team. I talked about this a little bit in my last video. These are just things you learn in the regular season and you kind of move on and go forward and go next. And you just figure it out. The Suns, they've won 60 games in the last 2 years. Obviously, this roster is a little bit older, a little bit more banged up, and we have not seen them at full health. So with them now sitting at 16-11, I can't really be too mad, but as long as they make the playoffs, you never know what can happen in front of a 7-game series, But all in all, without Booker and without Ingram, this game, it turned out to be a really fun one. If you guys watch this game, let me know what you think in the comments below. And also let me know, is Zion Williamson an MVP candidate? Should he be getting these nods? Because honestly, all I see anything about is Luka Doncic, Jason Tatum, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and not like these guys don't deserve it, but there was once upon a time where the best person on the best team was always getting voted as the MVP, and Zion right now is that guy. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. If you made it this far, I appreciate you as always. You guys are real ones. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Peace.